Welcome back to the Good Hustle Podcast, everybody. We are so excited to be back. Zach Williamson.
John Henry.
John Henry is here in the studio, too. And before we get started, I just want to let you know, the best way to support the podcast is by letting us know if any of your friends or family members or yourself needs to look at buying or selling or investing in real estate.
Yeah, that's our A game. And also, our online store just popped for the Good Hustle. So
yes,
we will put that. It's actually on the YouTube page.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be in the description of the video.
Yep, it's all over the interwebs. You can look through it, buy anything you want. There's tons of cool gear, so take a look.
Yep. So today we are joined by an awesome guest. This is my buddy Tyler Overmier. Tyler, how are you doing, man?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm actually I feel like I wasn't going to be nervous for this podcast until I just sat down and then you guys just started you guys have such great voices for this. Easily.
No, John has a great voice.
No, I think you do too because your voice definitely you can differentiate your voice from when I was listening on the way here all the past podcasts. Yeah. You guys both have great voices. And then the second that you walked in while I was playing ping pong with Nate, I was like, man, this guy, it's an amazing voice for radio.
He's got the voice, sure. He's got the swag.
Yeah, but like you said, you have the face for TV too.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. People have told me, my youth group kids used to tell me that I sound like Patrick Mahomes, which is bad because everyone says that Patrick Mahomes sounds like Kermit the Frog.
Or Kenny Powers.
Okay. Or Kenny Powers. So I've gotten Patrick Mahomes comparisons a lot. So, but...
It was great to be here. Thank you very much for having me. I'm super pumped to be here.
Yeah. So Tyler is an entrepreneur, and he's the founder and CEO of Sigma Snacks, which you can see on his hoodie right now. He's got the fresh...
my fresh Sigma Snacks
hoodie.
The
Sigma Snacks hoodie. So I kind of want to intro by talking about how we know each other. Okay?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, so I think that's a good place to start. So, I know your brother Mark from Geneva. So when I went to college for the second time, because I went for a semester and dropped out the first time in 2013.
Where'd you go before?
So I went to Lancaster Bible College for a semester, and then I stopped. And I was like, you know what? I got to figure out if I actually want to go to college or not. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And then Alyssa and I started getting serious, and she wanted to go to college. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to college.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And so that's when we toured Geneva. We decided to go there.
Yeah.
And when I got to Geneva, I met Mark. Mark was actually one of the first people that I met. Mark's your brother. Mm-hmm. And he and I hit it off right away. We were really good buddies. Yeah. We actually, they do this thing at Geneva where it's orientation week. And they kind of put you into different groups of people. And Mark and I were in one of those intro groups. And for whatever reason, I was so nervous to be at college. I was like, I don't belong here. My grades are bad. I don't know what I'm doing here. And Mark was one of the first people that walked up to me and was like, hey, man, you're really tall. You want to go play basketball and stuff?
Oh, he said that?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a really good...
He wanted to have you on his team so
yeah,
he'd win.
I think so, yeah. So we had a really funny conversation when we met and everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so long story short, Mark and I stayed really good friends, and he just got married.
And that's where I met you.
Yeah, and so we met at Mark's wedding and
groom's party.
Yes,
squad.
Groom's party. Yeah, we played some poker, and I lost $20 that night. That was kind of sad, but
we were betting with money. I feel like I'm blanking on that.
I feel like maybe someone paid for you. I don't remember.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Unless only you lost money.
Yeah, I was gonna say if
nobody else paid.
I don't know. But anyway, so you and I met through Mark, and we had a really fun wedding and everything. And kudos to you. You had to give an intense speech in front of everybody.
No,
I remember you were so nervous for that.
No, I super cringed at that speech because I think it went way too long. I really had a lot to say, and now that there's actually videos of me doing it, and it was 5 minutes.
5 minutes is fine.
No, I mean the way that I was speaking in 5 minutes, I feel like it was just way too long. I could have kept that a lot shorter and still kept the same sentimental aspect. But no,
was it your first best man speech?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I've done.
So actually, this is I feel like the third time I've ever kind of spoken publicly, even though it's not really publicly right now. Yeah. But that first speech, and I'm in sales. With my other job, with my day job, I'm in sales. Obviously, with Sigma Snacks, I have to speak with people all the time. And I'm used to doing that. And then I got up on that stage for that best man speech.
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking to who is my fiance now. I was like, Lauren, I have never been so scared to death for the speech. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I thought that I was going to have this in the bag.
Right.
And so I was just down in a few of my champagne glasses, and I'm not even a big drinker at all. Yeah. But I was like, I need some liquid encouragement right now just because I'm freaking out. I am actually freaking out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I prayed about it, and I got up on the stage, and it kind of just flowed with my piece of paper that I had. But no, I definitely needed to keep it shorter. So if anybody's like listening to this right now, like don't prolong your best men's speech that long. Like definitely keep it short and sentimental because you can do it because like you actually lose the audience.
Oh yeah,
like after like 2, 3, 4 minutes.
And it's funny because we're both obviously in sales as well, so are you.
Yeah,
And you speak to a lot of
absolutely.
people. We have a lot of people in front of you, and that's typically normal. But when you get on center stage, it is a whole different animal for people. And I can tell you, in college, I actually quit a class once because of a speech at the end.
Oh really?
And I didn't.
Did you really? What class was it?
I don't even remember. It was something. I don't even remember the class, but I literally quit. And
I hated giving speeches too, which is so funny because I eventually became a youth pastor and then had to give a speech every single Wednesday.
But once I got sober and I started getting in front of crowds, like I remember I was at it was March 11th, 2010. So I was 18 months sober to the day, and I spoke in front of like 600 people, and it was the first big speech I ever did. Had no issues with it. Spoke for 40 minutes, and so it's not something that just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's something that I feel like it takes some practice too. And I'm a very firm believer in Christ. And so I'm a firm believer in Christ, and I love reading my Bible, but I'm not good at quoting where the scripture is. I know that it's said in the Bible.
Yeah.
Certain things I can't be like, oh, that's Matthew 23:18 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but one of my favorite passages is that like, the Holy Spirit will speak through you if you ask.
Yep.
If you ask God, the Holy Spirit will do the talking.
Yep.
And I think that's in Paul's letter to either the Romans or the Corinthians.
That sounds about right.
Something like that. But I love that because so many times, like we're all humans. We don't have all the right things to say.
Nope.
There's certain times that I'm sure you, John, or I'm sure you, Zach, like people ask you things or certain questions about the Bible or certain things about your life. And you're like, I have no idea how to answer. And you just start speaking. And then afterwards, you're like, wow, where the heck did that come from? Easily the Holy Spirit right there.
Oh, yeah, that happens, especially in real estate all the time. Like we have to be constantly on our feet.
Seriously. And people ask you questions that you just can't answer.
And sometimes there's times when I can't answer a question, I'll say, let me get the correct answer for you.
Yeah, and that's respected too by them.
It is. Well, let's talk about where are you? Like, so I know you live in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So are you in the city or outskirts or?
Well, okay. So right now, I wanted to move home to save up some money, and this was like about I think June of last year of 2023 because I actually wanted to afford a ring for my fiance.
For you.
You know, because I was living.
That's not a spoiler, right?
No, she knows.
Okay.
So, yeah.
She's wearing it right now. She's coming in right now. No, I'm just kidding. Lauren.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to see her. But no, so I actually moved home. So we're actually right after the wedding. And let me just rewind a little bit. I wanted to say thank you for being such a great best friend of Mark. Mark, you loves
course,
you,
man.
and he speaks so highly about you.
Mark's
and
a great
actually,
guy, too.
I wanted to point out that right after the wedding weekend, I had such a great time with all you guys, and like that was like the first time I was like meeting you guys all like in that groomsmen, like part of the wedding and everything. And I told Mark, I was like, this group of guys that you have, they're hilarious. And Zach, like he might be one of the funniest people I've actually ever met.
Let's go.
Like Zach, I was like, Zach has like an elite sense of humor. And usually like I have to like pretend like I'm laughing at like, just like, I don't know, at things that like, just to like make it not as awkward, like the situation I'm in or whatever. But I was like, Zach had me like crying, laughing like multiple times throughout the weekend without him even trying, like just him speaking, like in his sense of humor. And I was like, this man is hilarious.
That's
and Mark
awesome.
was like, yeah, I know, he's a funny dude.
Well, whenever we met, I knew he was something special, and that's one of the reasons. Obviously, he works on our real estate team, and like the main reason why we're doing this together.
Yeah, God bless you, man. Yeah.
So where are you from? Where do you live?
So back to where I live. Yeah, I'm all over the place. If you guys don't know that.
Good.
I feel like I have ADD brain.
We'll bring it together.
So right now I'm currently living in Crofton, Maryland, which is right next to Annapolis, Maryland. Like it's like I pretty much like throw a rock from my house and it would hit the it would hit the Capitol
Your
building
whole
in Annapolis.
family's from that area, right?
Well, most of my family. So I have a lot of family in New York. I have a lot of like everywhere, all scattered. Now Mark's living in Cranberry, Pennsylvania, right by Geneva College, and that's where I'm actually going to be moving because I'm getting married in August. Lauren, my fiance, has a public school teaching job. She works at a nearby she's an art teacher at a nearby high school and middle school and elementary school there. Wow. So so I'm gonna be moving in with her once we get married, probably in some small two bedroom, maybe one bedroom apartment up there. So, and that's where I'm gonna my company is registered in Pennsylvania, and that's where it started last year. I moved home so I could save some money, and that money is going towards Sigma Stacks. I was bootstrapping it all the way here, and I wasn't saving enough money, and I wanted to get married because me and Lauren both come from very traditional households, and we're very religious people, so we don't obviously want to move in together before we get married or anything.
Yeah, we were the same way.
So that's why we were like, yeah, we're young, we're 24, but we're ready to start our lives together. So I'm going to be coming, and I'm letting you know, Lauren, like I have this whole Sigma Snacks thing going on, and I work in a full-time job as well. And I'm like a little nervous that we're going to be going into a marriage, and I'm going to basically have my hands tied. And Lauren is like an angel. She is such a saint. Like, this girl is perfect. If you ever seen a picture of her, she is like a 12. Like, she is. And I mean, like on a good day, I'm like probably a 4.
So you outkicked your coverage, is what that's called.
Yeah, exactly. No. If you saw a picture of her, like, she is just something. She is gorgeous, and that's not even speaking about like what she is on the inside. Like, she is just such a godly.
I remember
like,
meeting her. She was really cool.
Oh, you met her? Yeah, I was actually. I was thinking on the way here. Like, I don't know if you met her or not at the wedding.
The wedding and everything.
Yeah, she is. She's like such a perfect woman. But anyway, so I told her, I was like, hey, I'm letting you know that I am a little stressed out about juggling all these hats when we get married, and I really want to be a good husband to you. Right. And Lauren is like, again, she's like a perfect human. She was like, Tyler, don't worry. I'll help you out. We can work late into the nights if we have to. We'll be selling on the weekends. We'll be doing demos. Like if you get a demo in Giant Eagle, if you do a demo in Costco or something like that, we'll do it together. We'll be at all the fairs. Yeah. She was like, I'm going to help you pack packages. Nice, We're going to get through it together. And I'm like, wow, like you're about to make me cry right now. Like you are an amazing.
You're supposed to be a team.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you bear everything with each other, whether it's good or bad. And I think that's most important. And when you find the right person, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And I love that. Yeah. So you grew up in Maryland?
Yeah. So I grew up in Maryland. In that small town, Carlton, actually the same house that I'm currently living at right now, saving up money. That's where I grew up. And Mark as well, of course. Yep. And then Mark went to Geneva. Yep. And then I always remembered that him and my father, because he wanted to play baseball in college. That's his passion. So he went to Geneva College. And then when I was going on all those visits, because I was like the younger brother, like seeing it all, everywhere, all the colleges that he was looking at. And I remember that there was just so many colleges in the area. Yeah, it's like such a mecca of colleges in the Western PA area.
A lot. And a lot of really good schools.
Yeah, really good schools. Yeah, except for Pitt, of course.
Geneva's actually a really great school.
Yeah, Geneva's a super great school.
Just kidding.
Yeah, amazing. And my brother was looking at St. Vincent originally, but they didn't have his major. They really wanted him to play baseball for them, but they didn't have his major. And then I remember seeing St. Vincent, and I was like, oh, I really like this college. It's where the Pittsburgh Steelers have their training camp.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I just always remembered it. And then so when I was at Mount St. Joe, which was my high school, like all boys Catholic high school in Baltimore,
it wasn't all. Did Mark go to that school too?
Yeah, he did.
I think he was telling me he was like the first time I started talking to girls was like way later in life. It's like you're used to all boys schools and stuff, so it has to be like really intimidating and weird. But you guys both figured it out. You both have
he's married and I'm getting married too. So we're fine.
Yeah, you made it.
Anybody who's actually worried about not meeting girls at their like all boys high school or whatever, like you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Saves you a lot of time and breakups and everything in high school that aren't going to happen anyway.
That's a good point.
But anyway, though, so to make a long story short, actually, it was long. My explanation.
That's what the podcast is for.
Yeah, exactly. So Mark, he went to Geneva, and then I fell in love with St. Vincent because it was like my high school kind of fed off into St. Vincent. It was like one of those like recommended Catholic to Catholic schools.
Yeah, exactly.
And I fell in love with it. It was just like one of those things in life, and I'm sure that both of you guys know this. Like, it's the Holy Spirit making that decision for you. Just because it just feels like such a natural choice. Yeah. Like does not take a lot of thought. Like that's where God wants you. And I'm not even Catholic myself. I'm Baptist. I'm a Protestant.
Yeah.
And when I was on that Catholic campus, everybody was just so godly, like opening the doors for you. Just everybody had a smile on it. It was a bright, sunny day. Like everything was perfect. And I just felt like the second I stepped on that campus, like I was like, this is where God wants me to be. And I was like, I'm an hour away from Mark. And now he's living in Cranberry.
Cranberry Township or Cranberry?
Oh, is there a difference?
Yeah.
Oh, township. Okay, like the Mars
Township.
area.
Yep.
Yeah,
there's a Dick's Sporting Goods and all that jazz.
Yeah, well, it's built up now.
Oh, I know. There's that huge strip with hotels and restaurants.
It was built up a lot from when I went to school there, which wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and the prices, talking about real estate now, and I don't know enough about real estate as you guys know, it is not.
No.
Like, it's crazy expensive
by us,
there.
I think.
Like a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, like, rancher there is like $400K.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like 220, 250 by us.
Yeah. Actually, we sold a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for $400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
In Mechanicsburg.
Mechanics.
Yeah, it depends on how new and nice it is.
So what did you study in college? And then what was your plans? Like, what did you think? Like, I'm going to study this and I'm going to do this. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, okay. So, and I keep on feeling like I'm bringing God back into this. Hopefully I'm not talking too much faith. Yeah. But anyway, I went into college. I knew that St. Vincent was where I needed to be, but I went in as like a poli-sci major just because I love politics. Yeah. And it just wasn't really it wasn't really my passion. And I remember like the first, like I was learning all about, like first semester I was learning all about like our forefathers and like everything. And it was just
all the guys with the white wig.
Yeah, exactly. Like all the actual important people that built America. But it was just like, this is not me. Yeah. Like I'm like, and it just wasn't me. Like it wasn't something that got me out of bed in the morning. Sure. Like I remember I had 8:30 classes and like it was almost impossible for me to actually have the will. There. No, it just wasn't there. Like I couldn't get there. I love politics. Yeah. But when it actually came to like the history of it, I was just like, no, this is not for me. So anyway, I remember praying about it, what I'm going to do. Like, God, what do you want me to do with my life? And I had no idea. So then I became a communications major, and I was just like, I'm just not feeling challenged enough. I think it's just like, I don't know. Like, I'm not feeling like I'm really put to the test. And I was like in a really weird spot because I was like, what am I going to do? I can't be like one of these college kids that is like in college for 6 or 7 years because like we don't have crazy amounts of money. My parents come from very modest down to earth means, and I was like, I can't be having them spend like all this kind of money if I'm just going to be moving around majors. So I was like, God, really, I need you to come through and show me what I need to do. And in that, I think it was that weekend that I was really having like on my knees praying like about like, God, please show me direction. And my janitor, who I was actually close with, my janitor came up to me, and he was like, "You guys love this dude. Like he is like so like."
What was that movie with the janitor?
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. Yeah, you had a Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, exactly. And he came up to me, and like I just remember talking to him like all the time, like on my way to class, and he was like, "Tyler, I had this feeling. I really need to tell you this. I think you should be a business major." And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's something to say. And he was like, you would make such a great impact on this world if you were a business major. Like, you would
Doesn't that
you
feel
would
good
kill
to have
it.
somebody see your purpose before you do?
Well, it's insane. Like, I mean, yeah, it's crazy how God works. And then I was like, you know what? I'm using this as my sign. I was just on my hands and knees, basically, not on my knees, not on my hands and knees, but on my knees, like basically praying, like, God, I need direction here. And this guy, the guy who I look up to, came up to me. And he told me to be a business major. I remember walking straight to my advisor, or actually, my advisor was like the whole dean of business. Oh wow! And he was like, "Okay, we'll be a business major." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds great. Let's do it." Perfect. And so he was like, "You're gonna like, how about international business?" I was like, "Absolutely." So international business, you have to learn another language. So then I became fluent in Spanish. That's what I was actually asking.
Oh, that's awesome.
Spanish. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was trying to rattle off some Spanish.
Yeah, that's cool.
But so then international business. I was an international business Spanish major, and everything kind of came together. And that's just proof that, you know, if you don't know what you want to do in life, or if you don't really know what God like life has in store for you, if you don't know your purpose, you got to ask God, you know, and He'll provide that for you.
So you graduate college, and then, you know, obviously you're doing a couple different things in here. How did Sigma Snacks
definitely. Okay,
how did this happen?
So this was actually my senior year. This is when I was 22 years old. And I was a swimmer in college, and that's actually one of the things that brought me to St. Vincent, because I really wanted to swim in college. I really wanted to play a sport. I didn't want to be a NARP, as they say. Do you know what a NARP is?
No, I don't know what a NARP is.
Do you know what a NARP is?
No.
Maybe it's just a St. Vincent thing. I didn't want to be a non-athletic regular person.
That's awesome.
That is offensive.
Yeah, exactly.
All of our non-athletic regular people are shutting off the podcast right now.
Yeah, exactly.
To all 12 viewers, please stay.
No, seriously, we need you too, of course. No, but I just knew that for myself. Like, I couldn't be a non-athletic regular person, as they say, just because like sports kept me disciplined. Like, if I wasn't playing sports, I'd be like probably like undisciplined. I probably would have been slacking off, not going to class. Yeah, sorry, I'm banging my hands on it. It's definitely going to make a noise on the podcast. I talk with my hands, but anyway, so I was senior year in college, and that's when I really got like kind of turned on to caffeine. I needed it. Like, caffeine is like, I can't even imagine
the greatest thing ever.
Caffeine. Yeah, seriously, greatest thing ever. And so I was on my way to one of my swim workouts at 6 a.m. So I was getting my butt out of bed at 5:30 in the morning, And I didn't want to take a pre-workout, like, the pre-workout, like basically like
I can't take
it's like I know kids my age, and this is like mid-20s. This is kind of like when you start, establishing your, I don't know, your routines in life, and like your body reacts. Yeah. And I still see people like dry scooping pre-workout powder. I'm like, you're crazy for that. Yeah, but anyway, insane. Like in college especially, that was a big thing. So people were taking pre-workouts and everything before practice. Or I could not drink coffee before a workout, because these workouts in college were really tough. Like, it just swimming for like 2.5 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours. And I was like, I'm going to be puking. Like, if I drink coffee, and I need my caffeine. Yeah. Like, but I also can't drink caffeine on an empty stomach either. And I was like, there's just too many problems right now. And I need my caffeine, and I need something to put in my stomach to hold me over.
Yeah.
And I was like, there needs to be a product out there for that. And when I was looking on Amazon, when I was looking at all these stores, like, there just wasn't a good fit. Mm-hmm. Like they were still trying to, like, they had, like, I think, like, some caffeine gummies. I'm like, that's a horrible.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. And it just, nothing was really doing the trick for me. And I remember getting them, and like all my roommates were trying all these caffeinated bars or whatever. And they just, like, I feel like if you took, like, if we went outside and took like a handful of soil and ate it, I think that would taste better than, like, seriously. Like, and I was like, I cannot believe that these bars are even, like, there needs to be a good product that somebody could just have when they're on the go, like, before a workout, before a game, going to the office. Yeah. Like, if you don't have time to have food in one hand and coffee in the other, right? Or if you don't want all that stuff in your stomach, you just want something light that also gives you a boost of caffeine. Like, that doesn't exist. Yeah. And I was like, why? So here I was with all my buddies in my dorm room, like in our dorm room. And we were trying. Like, nobody studied food science. Nobody had any culinary background. We were just, a bunch of college kids, and we were just trialing with all these different recipes for these potential Sigma snacks, like caffeine and like simple carbs in one. And it didn't taste great. It took us months to try to, like, finally get a good recipe for this. Mm-hmm. And that was like after I graduated, we finally got the really great recipe. And I was like, let's start selling. And at this point, they were like Rice Krispie bars, like because we put like it was like chocolate Rice Krispie bars with caffeine. Mm-hmm. And
I remember those ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you bought some. Yeah,
they were really good.
Yeah, so and I don't want to go too far into the process unless there's other questions too. But yeah, that's how I got.
That's awesome.
That's how I got the idea going, and I can't even believe that I'm at this point right now, like 2 years later. And now, like, we're going live. We're going to be going on Amazon. We're going to reopen the Shopify store. We're going to be trying to get into like retail locations, national retailers. That's awesome. And I'm like, I cannot believe from 22 when I was just a swimmer in college, like, I had the idea, and now it actually came to fruition. Yeah. But again, I got to give it to God.
It's finding that niche market. Also, it's like, where is life going to point you? And it's like, you had an idea, and it's like there isn't anything that's going to match that. So you're talking about turning, walking into the office, and you just said, like, I got something in this hand, something in this hand, and I got to, like, why don't we turn it into one?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's basically what a Sigma snack is.
Yeah, so like on a very 101 level, what is Sigma snacks?
Yeah, so Sigma snacks are caffeinated cookies. So they're all natural, gluten-free, plant-based, all natural green tea, caffeine. It doesn't taste like tea. Yeah, well, it's super good for you because, like, the original recipe, like I said, it was like just a bunch of college kids making a baked good with caffeine in it. And then we were trying to get into stores at that point because we were expanding. We were having a lot of orders come in, and we couldn't, fulfill it all as fast as possible. And then, like, a lot of these stores were like, you need lot numbers. You need to be able to track which ingredients go into which products and which products go where. And so then I was like, okay, well, this is the chance for me to redesign the recipe to be like a really nice, healthy product that's guilt-free, plant-based, because plant-based industry is huge right now.
Huge.
It's vegan. It's all vegan. Yeah. Yep. And I was like, I really want this to be a sustainable, really good product, A, for the environment, and B, for people. Because this is, athletes have this, So it can't be something that weighs you down. It can't be something that's going to spike your blood sugar and then make you crash in the middle of a workout. It cannot be like that.
And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying this episode of the Good Hustle Podcast, please go ahead, leave a like, subscribe on the YouTube. And also, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts now. So if you want to listen without the video part, you can do that.
Yep. And if you're looking for any real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or investing, please contact Zach or myself. Our numbers are below. Back to the podcast.
So I was like, this is a chance for me to redesign the recipe, make it really good, make me like super, I don't know, super confident and comfortable talking about it, that's really good for people. So then in November 2022, redesigned the recipe with our partners, the Culinary Development Group, which actually came on as owners of the company too.
Good.
And that's when we redesigned the recipe, and now we're going full force.
Doesn't it feel like we're sitting across from a guest on Shark Tank?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Well, okay, so that's kind of crazy you say that. I don't want to take the stage here, but
No, you're good.
Right now I'm raising money, and I didn't want to do an equity sell. Like, I didn't want to sell any equity right now.
Which is what they do a lot of the time on Shark Tank.
Yeah,
Is like,
well,
you can have 10%
because-
of the business for...
Yeah, exactly. Well,
$1,000.
right now I'm raising money, and we could talk about it at some point, I'm sure, on the podcast. I think it's one of the questions. But
Yep.
I'm raising money right now, and people could invest as a loan through this portal called the Honeycomb campaign.
That's right,
Credit.
Honeycomb, yes.
Yeah, and where people can invest their money, and then it would be treated as a loan in which they would earn 13.5% APY on a 3-year term loan. And that's a way for people to invest. They actually earn their money back with added, obviously, like a little bit in returns as well. But because later, as I expand, if I need to be giving up equity at some point in the company, I can.
Right.
To raise money in the future, or if I wanted to be on Shark Tank, because it would be so embarrassing.
It costs money too to be on Shark Tank.
Oh yeah.
It's
And
not
Shark
free.
Tank, I hear, maybe I'll apply for Shark Tank one day. I don't know what God has in store, but
We'll
also
come with you if you want. We
definitely.
Can be some of your pitch
Or
guys.
you guys just go.
My voice.
I'll just be the actor, like eating it.
I can make the jokes the whole time.
You can go like this while you're doing it. Like, you just show the muscles.
Yeah,
I'll just
exactly.
talk.
I'll just be the actor.
And he'll be the comedic relief.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds good to me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this too. So I have so much respect and admiration for people like you that go into product-based industries. Because John and I are service people. Like we kind of are the product in a way whenever we go and help people buy and sell homes, and like we just have to become like the local expert, right? Like that's really the biggest thing is as long as we keep ourselves sharp, we're a good product, so to speak.
Yeah.
But you're actually selling a product on its own. You're in a product based industry, and I remember before I went to college, I was thinking about getting into entrepreneurship in some ways because my uncle was in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, man.
And
You
my
got the energy
grandpa and
for it,
stuff.
for sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I remember telling myself I'm never going to do entrepreneurship because it's way too hard. I can't even imagine the levels of complications that come with producing a product that you were talking about with like SKUs and lot numbers and all this stuff. Like that would stress me out.
Well, okay. Well, both of you guys probably don't give yourself enough credit because I'm a full believer that if you're in real estate and you guys are selling, you guys are your own business. You guys are
100%.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So you got to give yourself credit, man, because that is also just equally as difficult. Easily. It's just a different industry.
Yeah.
But like basically building your own network like you guys are doing right now.
Oh, yeah.
And also going through the entire sales process like constantly. Like it's a tough and it's incredibly competitive. And also you guys like, we have environmental and we have like some economic in my industry as well, like factors that play into the product space. But, the housing market is its own bear, as you guys know.
It's a beast.
And it's changing every single day.
And
so you guys got to make sure you give yourself enough credit. That's hard what you guys do.
And we have to stay up on the market. And that's one of the things that Zach's really good
100%.
at, too, is the education process, the YouTube process. Because if we're not staying ahead when it comes to videos and marketing ourselves, we're going to fall behind. And that's why at such a young age, Zach's really good at that. And that's what's going to help build his business is the fact that he's staying ahead of the game. And I mean, for my age, I am way ahead of most people in my age demographic in our business. And realistic thing is that real estate, the average age of a real estate agent in the United States, it's between like 55 and 60.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a lot of sharks who have been in it for a long time. And then a lot of people like myself who try to break in, and it's not easy. Like I think the fail-out rate is like 80, 90%.
85% is a fail-out rate.
But it's brutal, man.
Yeah.
It's brutal. But no, you guys got to give yourselves props, because I would 100% argue that you are each entrepreneurs because you're responsible for your own success.
Right.
And that's the same with any entrepreneur.
And I think the biggest thing for you that we've done, I mean, this show is community-based right now. Do we? And like I said on the last episode, do we want to get national? Of course we do. We want to grow, but we have to focus on small and then grow. And you're doing that same thing, like starting with a small niche market, and you're moving that forward and growing. Like right now, you're 2 years in, and you're basically stating like, listen, okay, so we've sold to friends, we've sold online. Now we're working on our our Amazon, or we're looking on our web on our websites, and now we're going to go talk to Giant Eagle and other big grocery stores, and Costco and Sam's Club. Like, there's no better way to start a business. Like, even all those people that you see on these TV shows or that have businesses, you think they all started big? You know, how many of them started in a garage? Microsoft, Apple, they all started in a garage.
Yeah.
So that mindset for you to start small and grow big is really great. So I think having that mindset's been really good for you.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing now that I'm raising money, I really do want to start small. So like I really want to, like, financially I'm talking about, because I'm going to be responsible for investors' money. So I need to be very wise with what I do, and I'm going to be taking up a lot of the workload myself, which I'm fine with. That goes back to my conversation with Lauren. Like, I'm going to have a lot, like, Lauren's my fiance. I'm going to have a lot of work to do, and she's basically like, we're going to have a lot of work to do because I'm in it fully with you. And so I'm like, well, because we cannot be hiring a third-party logistics company to be shipping out our products, as in like picking and packing, and then shipping it out, because like they charge crazy amounts of money. And I'm an able-bodied person, thanks to the Lord.
Right.
I'm an able body, and I'm like, I can be doing this at nights or in the mornings or whenever, in the middle of the night. It doesn't matter. I can be picking and packing my own products and shipping them out, because that's going to save me a lot of money. I can also be myself. I'm not going to be hiring any sales rep or demo agency right off the bat to be showcasing the products in stores. I can be doing that myself. We're too young of a company, so I need to be using this money really well. Yeah. Like, I need to be very conservatively using this money to, make very wise decisions at the beginning, so that I'm not one of these, like one of these statistics of a company that folds within a year. Because I'm in the food and beverage industry with my other job as well, with my day job. And I meet a lot of food and beverage founders, and like every single expo I go to, you're always, the next year you go, like, most of those companies don't exist anymore. And it's so sad.
It is sad.
Like, and I think they have great products, but like, they make bad financial moves, or like they overspend on marketing, or they overspend on those expos themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they just, they don't make wise decisions, because like they might get a purchase order from like a big retailer like Weiss, or I don't know, Kroger or Walmart, and then it might flop. And because that might not actually be the selling channel that you're going to get your products. And this goes back to your question. Like, you need to be very careful about where you put your products, because I don't know right now if my products will succeed as much in Walmart as they would in Sheetz or Get-Go or
I guess
college
really
marketplaces, Yeah, because it's like an on-the-go convenience store, and that's where I really want to take my product.
Planet Fitness.
Yeah, gyms, Gold's Gym, Planet Fitness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually originally tried to get my original product in Planet Fitness, but
Did
again,
you really?
a lot of numbers. Yeah.
Oh,
So for me, like, I started Whitetails Down as clothing for hunting and blah blah, and it was like a big passion of mine.
Nice, cool.
I didn't have the time or energy to continue with it, and it just never. It took off a little bit locally.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, it kind of failed because I don't have the time. So the fact that you're putting in the effort with your wife, or your fiance, Lauren, future wife.
It sounds nice, though.
It does,
my
doesn't
wife.
it?
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, future
Soon to
wife.
be.
FW. So, like, that's really great that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, I was going to say this too. I think, one thing that's really interesting that I'm seeing a parallel between the two of us, well, the three of us here, is that, you kind of get in the game with the great idea, right? So you have the great idea with Sigma Stacks. I think your idea is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
In my
Thank
opinion,
you.
yeah.
Thank you very
I
much.
think you perfectly put together the two things that you kind of need for that quick fix, right?
Yeah.
In the morning and stuff.
Thanks.
But that's how you kind of get in the game. Kind of like how for John and I, like, getting licensed and learning what to do in real estate is just getting your foot in the door, getting in the game. But then it's all of these little meticulous strategic decisions.
It's showing up every day.
Yeah,
That's what
and it's a lot of work and effort.
Treat it like a day job.
Right.
100%.
Absolutely,
110%.
Do you kind of see the similarity there too?
Yeah, it's a grind, and lately I've been hearing the saying, most of business and most of entrepreneurship is literally just showing up every day.
100%.
100%.
It really
when you
is.
don't feel like it and you just got to go to work that day and you still got to give it your all, just show up.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't do because they get defeated, which I understand getting defeated. And I'm sure both of you guys do. I'm sure you guys have had
I know all about it.
really, really, really bad lows
in
entrepreneurship. And I will always say that you guys are in entrepreneurship, always.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So really, really bad lows. But the next day, that next Monday, you're going to be back in the office and you're going to continue the grind, and you're going to, whatever happened last week or the day before, you leave it behind you, and you got to continue forging on. If you don't have the power in yourself, I'm going to bring up faith. You got to get the power from a higher being that'll give you the strength.
Yep.
And you got to keep on forging through. And that's where real success is made.
Yeah, because you're going to have steps back. Just if you got one step back,
I'm
the
gonna
next
make
day take 2 forward the next day. Like, get back on track. Like, it's really easy. I can tell you from suffering from depression and mental illness, like I can get way down.
Yeah.
Way down. And it is what it is. And if I got to keep plugging away, and I keep understand like this too shall pass. Like, that's another thing that's been really big for me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you were telling me last night that one of the things that you were thinking about a lot is balance. And as entrepreneurs, like we all are, I think
balance.
One of the things that's real is it's hard to explain to people that work in the 9-to-5 life and do a corporate job or work at I just work at cell phone stores from 11 to 7, all that kind of stuff, right? It's a different type of beast. Because people are like, oh, look at you guys, you're all flexible, you work whatever hours you want to. Like, that's true, but finding balance between when you're focused on your passion, like we all are, versus living Tyler's normal life, with Lauren or with Mark or with your family or whatever.
Of course.
Like, how have you found striking that balance so far? Because I know for John and myself, like it can be tough sometimes to stop working.
So to give, like, in the past, when I first started Sigma Stacks, I was renting out a small apartment in downtown Latrobe. I don't know if you guys know Latrobe. It's in the same little town as St. Vincent, where the Steelers practice, but little small town Latrobe, downtown Latrobe, and I was working my full-time job selling software to food companies, and then also Sigma Snacks, and I was working easily like 15 to 16-hour days. I wasn't getting too great sleep. I wasn't being the great boyfriend to Lauren, for sure. I wasn't being a good friend to my closest buddies. I was just a workaholic, and it was like eat, sleep, breathe, work. So it was okay for the first few months, and it's what was needed to get my company off the ground during that time period. But I burnt out like really bad, and I've already burnt out probably about 3 times, and I've only graduated since like 2 years ago. I've already burnt out 3 times. And burnout is
first
not
3 of
fun.
many.
I'm 100% sure about that. So, but now I know how to at least prevent burning out as long as possible. So, because when I first started Sigma Stacks, I really burnt out bad because I was only working, and I just remember like my brain was just in such a fog. I was not even spending time with my family. I was not spending time with friends. I was just not a well-rounded person, and I burnt out really badly. And I've learned every single step of the way. And anybody listening to this that is afraid of burning out or whatever, like you have to learn for yourself what works and what doesn't, right? It's different for everybody. Like, I'm always seeing on my phone, on social media, like, this is what you have to do to live a perfect lifestyle, like whatever, this is what you have to do. But there's no right or wrong. Like, you got to figure out what works for you. No, those gurus don't know anything. Well, they know, okay, sorry. They do know something. They know what works for them.
Yes,
but what works for them does not work for John. It does not work for Zach. It doesn't work for Tyler. So you actually have to learn. Now, like, don't be afraid about being an entrepreneur. If you feel like it's a calling on your heart, definitely be an entrepreneur. Yeah, it's going to be a struggle, and yeah, you're going to have some burnouts, but those burnouts bring you, it helps you learn more about yourself. And what works for you. So anyway, what I've learned to live a balanced life is that I need to keep myself on a schedule. Like, I need to be like, okay, this hour block I'm going to do like some really hard focus work, right? Or like from 9 to 5 I'm going to be doing X, and then from 5 to 6 I'm going to be going to the gym, and then 6 to 7 I'm going to be spending some time with my family. Like, I need to also, just as much as I'm working, I need to be doing something I'm passionate about, or I need to be like just engaging in regular conversation with my loved ones, like my family, my friends, and I can't be talking about work. Like, I told Lauren last night, we were on FaceTime, we were discussing this podcast, and I'm like, we need to have conversations too that has nothing to do with work. Let's talk about it can't, like, nothing about work, because I can't, like, and you can't either. She has a very stressful job too sometimes. And I'm like, we need to be able to have a relationship with each other too that doesn't have anything to do with business. We need to be talking about God, and we just started doing a Bible study together. we need like, and what was I going to say? Like just watching TV, like just watching whatever show we want to
Love
watch.
Is Blind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or the real estate show. What's that? Selling Sunset.
Oh, that show's awesome. That show's awesome. I mean, it's very toxic, but it's awesome.
Lauren, very toxic.
He's out.
Yeah, Lauren does not want to watch that show.
Yeah, and I think just having that balance and understand, like my fiance, she works in real estate. I work in real estate.
Oh, I didn't know you're engaged. Congrats.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about real estate.
Shout out to Taylor. We were just talking about this
Taylor. But she works in it. I work in it. I need separation. So like we're watching in the middle of watching a TV show right now. Like that's there's nothing wrong with
zoning
having
out.
quiet time together.
You're not watching Selling Sunset?
Yeah.
No. I don't even know what that is.
Well, just because I mean, like I feel like my business personality. I feel like my business personality. Obviously, it's business, and like especially in sales. Like you need to have your business side on, right? Yeah. And I'm sure both of you guys know that.
Yep.
But if you're always having a different side on, always, like you're never your true authentic self.
No, and it's
so if you're not your true authentic self, you're going to burn out because you're not yourself. You know.
Yep.
And I can tell you, I've learned over the years, like triggers that are. I understand, like, okay, this is happening to me right now. I know where this is going to lead if I don't make a change. Like, i.e. burnout, i.e. depression, whatever it's going to be.
Right.
So I'll make those moves ahead of time because I've learned. And now you're 3 burnouts in. You're going to start to understand, like, okay, I know where this is going. I need to make a change.
I know the signs.
Yeah, and you having those one-on-one discussions with family, friends, and with Lauren are really important. And I think understanding that helps me understand why it's so important to you to have Sigma snacks on the shelves. Like, because not only is that going to be a driving force for freedom, time, and time is our most precious asset. I think that's going to be a big growth for you and your future wife and possibly growing a family. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I was going to note too, to see if you both agree with it. I don't know if you guys have similar, I'm sure you do, similar experiences with this, but do you find yourself like in the times that you are working like overboard that you're not performing as well at work?
Oh, absolutely.
And then there's times that you're living a more balanced life, like you're spending great time with your family.
Yeah.
I'm sure your wife and your fiance and your kid, of course. And then you're taking a lot of time in balance and in just relaxing too. Yeah. And then your sales game just gets so much better because you're a down to earth human being at that point. Yeah. You're not wound up. You're not really pressing for that sale because people see right through that. I'm sure you guys know.
Oh yeah.
People see right through that. For and you're a regular chill person, and then people want to buy from you more.
Yeah, if I'm working on myself, and I think you can say the same thing, and I'm better, like whole as a person. I'm able to fill somebody else's cup. If my cup's empty, it ain't happening.
Exactly,
and that's what happens when we get really busy, and all I'm focused on is work, and I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not doing anything. I'm not reading. I'm not praying. I'm not just whatever. I'm not eating properly. I'm not working out. Then everything else goes by the wayside.
Working out's huge.
It is. It is.
Working out is huge.
Yeah, it grounds you a lot. Yeah, there's actually there's a YouTuber I really like. His name's Graham Stephan. And he's a real estate / personal finance YouTuber, so you can see why I would like it, right?
Yeah, sure.
And
best topics.
Right, I know, right? Yeah, they're really boring to most people, but I love them, okay? Yeah. And so he was talking about how recently he took a huge step back from YouTube. He had done for years and years and years, like 3 or 4 long form, well-researched videos a week. So he would literally wake up, research all day, then film the whole day the next day and everything. And he would just go back to back to back to back like crazy, right? And then he said that he was going to take a step back because he had already done everything he needed to do. He was making money. He was fine and everything. So he was like, I'm going to post 1 video a week instead and just see how they perform. Sure. And they actually outperformed a lot of his other videos because you can kind of see that a lot of that stuff ended up being filler or not as well researched, and Graham didn't look as happy on camera, and he wasn't being his authentic self that he kind of started out as. And so I think that says a lot. I think like there's something that we talk about in real estate sometimes called commission breath, where you can kind of tell that someone is just kind of selling to you, right? But I think John and I both found like being our true authentic selves. Like we were hoodies around and stuff, and like we're not the traditional real estate agents by any means, right?
I'm very untraditional.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like,
neither
of us would really fit into, like, if you Google what a real estate agent looks like, it's a guy with a suit and
with
tie
suit
and business cards and all that stuff. We don't really do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that's why they don't have HR in real estate. Because of people like me.
Yeah. Well, people feel more
comfortable.
Yeah, was that the word I was thinking? Like you're approachable.
Oh yes, thank you.
A lot more approachable for them to actually like trust you.
Yeah.
And trust your opinion on things. Like trust that you're not going to sell them something that you wouldn't necessarily buy yourselves.
Yeah. So we break down those layers of the onion on people.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's all sales is. Yeah.
Exactly. One time I made a TikTok video about why I don't wear suits. And people put on the suit thinking, oh, people are going to trust me. They're going to think that I'm very knowledgeable and all this stuff.
Not in this generation.
Not as much today.
So here was the video I made. It was like, think about all the people that wear suits, though, in your mind. It's politicians. It's your principal from school you didn't like. It's the used car dealership guy who's trying to upsell you everything. It's all, like, those are all the people. When I think about suits, that's what I think of as like the distrust now.
Yeah, that's very true, because like again in my day job and my full-time job right now, not to say that Sigma Stacks isn't a full-time job, because Sigma Stacks is definitely a full-time job for me right now. I basically have 2 full-time jobs, but I'm in the tech industry, right? And that's a job that I got out of college, and in the tech industry, and it's like one of the most. It's right next. I'm sure real estate probably beats it by a little bit right now, and which industry is kind of like taking off, or brings in the most revenue. But anyway, the tech industry with all artificial intelligence and all IoT
blowing up,
and ERP is something that is what I actually sell myself during the days. But in the tech industry, and everybody, I don't remember the last time I ever saw anybody in the tech industry wear something that was what a politician would wear. Like I never saw anybody in the
Mark Zuckerberg wears like white t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah. Well, CEOs of these giant tech companies that I've met and shaken hands with, like they're in hoodies and jeans, and sometimes sweats.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
Yeah. So I mean, I just
what you need to do is get them on Honeycomb.
Definitely.
So I did want to reach back to that a little bit. So you did post an Instagram video, and there was like 4,000 views on it, which is pretty good, about your Honeycomb.
Yeah.
So, and I understand, like when you said 13% return over 3 years was decent. Like that's a high return.
That's a good return. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to be paying that back. So that, even though it goes through Honeycomb, it's still me taking on debt and me paying back that principal with the added interest. And I was just speaking with my father last night. He was like, Tyler, take me through what your game plan is, like your business plan, your strategy behind paying this back instead of taking equity on, because the easy choice for me to do right now is to sell some equity in Sigma Stacks, and probably a large chunk, because we're like pre-seed funding right now. They'd probably take a huge chunk and then give me money. And then instead, I decided to go this debt route of taking on investments as a loan, paying back this APY, the 13.5% APY. Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough, but basically for the first, I'm projecting 2 years, I'm going to be having to put everything back into the company.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not keeping anything. Yeah. I'm not at that boat that I could be actually keeping my profits. No, everything's going back in the company.
Yeah, and if you're not spending, you're not creating right now. And that's just the way it goes, especially with a new company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I'm trying to afford right now is a first pallet of Sigma Stacks. So that's what this Honeycomb money is going to be used for, or this Honeycomb credit money that I'm getting as investments from others, anybody in the community, friends, family, anybody around the country, that I really need to afford this first pallet of 30,000 Sigma Stacks, right? So I'm going to be basically, and it has a 9-month shelf life, which is pretty typical because it's all natural. There's no like artificial preservatives in it, because I'm not putting preservatives in my products. That's not happening, because I want anybody to be able to have them without feeling like it's bad for you or anything. So all natural, 9 months shelf life, and I'm going to be kind of mass trying to sell these, and then whatever profits I make are going to be going back into paying back my investors, for at this time period.
So that's your next. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. No, I was just going to say. So next steps for you are after you can get this pallet and everything. I guess my big question is, how can people help you? Where can people help you go if they do decide to invest?
Well, investors would be just majorly appreciated at this very critical time period. I think I have 13. I think by the time this airs, it'll be about like close to 6 days left in my campaign left for people to invest. But I really need this money so I can afford my first production run at a co-manufacturing facility in New Jersey. At a co-manufacturing bakery in New Jersey that would be able to mass produce the products. I need the capital for raw ingredients to be shipped into the warehouse, for the labor costs, for the products to actually be made, and packaging is huge for them to be packaged, then shipped to me, in a pallet, basically. And then I'm going to be picking and packing my own product, shipping them out. So I need money for FedEx shipping. I think for the first month, I'm going to be offering free shipping as a promotion. So I need to be able to afford that free shipping. I'm going to need that money to get into Amazon and afford these UPC codes and all the different prices that it takes to get on Amazon itself. And then, just warehousing costs too.
So do you have a website?
Yeah, I do. Shopify is my current website.
Okay.
It's HTTPS, of course, / eatsigmasnacks.com.
eatsigmasnacks.com.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so that's where it's also going to be selling. That's where I was saying like the first 30 days, the first month is going to be free shipping. That's going to be free shipping from there. Mm-hmm. And I'm also just going to be at probably every single farmer's market, every single food show in the Pennsylvania area, probably more so in the Western PA area, but definitely Central PA as well. Yeah. Just selling everybody, getting the name out there. Because I'm also in a segment that I feel like I know that I need to educate people on what this product is, because it's like a category that it's not really big right now. Like obviously this category of canned coffee or energy drinks, huge category right now. Right. Every single time you go to 7-Eleven or wherever you went this morning, I'm sure that you saw like 100 different energy drinks. This
was right next to Monster and all those drinks. Mm-hmm. This was right there with all of them.
Right.
Yeah, like this is a huge industry right now, and like people know it's either iced coffee, it's coffee in this can, or it's energy drinks. But caffeinated snacks, people are like, that's something that I'm not used to seeing. Yeah. I'm really excited that I'm kind of like one of these like, what's the word? Pioneers in this industry.
Pioneer is a great word. We love that word on the show. We love it.
I feel like I'm like a pioneer in this industry, but it's also coming with a lot of work to educate the general public on what this product is. Like, is it going to make me jittery? No, because it's putting something in your stomach as well. It's not just coffee on an empty stomach.
This would be really great for me to go out on a round of golf.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I struggle, like, to me, like, if I'm playing at 1 PM, that means, because I take naps every day.
Heck yeah, you got to.
But for me, it's like, my gosh, I want to drink a Monster drink if I'm going out there, but then all of a sudden I get jittery, and I'm like, this is how I start talking, and I start swinging really fast, and I can't handle it.
And then your swing messes up, and then you're getting upset.
And then I'm angry, and then I'm just like,
swinging like a samurai
why didn't I even come out here?
So, you like them over there?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, the Good Hustle's really excited to help promote your business.
Well, thank you very much. It's so honored to be here. This is a really cool niche market
that you're into, and we're really excited to have you on the show. We're excited that you got to share your story.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much for having me here.
Yeah. So final question.
Yeah, definitely.
We always end with this one: is the Good Hustle is all about finding your passion, right? Finding that thing that you love, and also, of course, doing it to make an impact, and doing it, like you said, like as a Christian guy, like you're trying to make an impact for the Lord, of course. So, what do you think about your mindset has helped you get to where you are today, and is helping propel you to go forward?
My mindset. One of the people I've met in the industry, not in necessarily my industry, but in the coffee industry that I've met. Mm-hmm. It was one of the founders of Super Coffee. I don't know if you guys know Super Coffee.
No,
not sure.
But it's a great product, and I met this one the one founder of the company, and he always said you need to spread positivity wherever you go. You have a lot of responsibility. Mm-hmm. On you as being an entrepreneur and as being a founder. Every person you meet, he was like, Tyler, we would not have built this company to what it is now. And I think that they just hit like 400 million in revenue or something along the lines of that. Yeah. Jeez. So they're a pretty big company.
Yeah.
And he was like, Tyler, we would not have gotten to the place we are right now if we didn't spread positivity to everybody, whether it's a broker, whether it's somebody that's just working in Costco that's just putting your product on the shelves, whether it's a consultant, whether anybody on the street, anybody that comes up to just to taste your product, you need to spread positivity. And I'm going to take it even further and spreading God's love and being able to spread gospel and be able to be a positive influence in the commerce of Pennsylvania in a very godly way. So now that I'm really taking it upon myself to really get closer with God, reading the Bible, and bringing that into my entrepreneurial life, that is the mindset I'm going to take. Just spreading God's love wherever I go, building this company on Christian values, and then seeing where God takes me in this company. So
that's awesome.
Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, of course. No, that's
but thank
awesome,
you guys very much for having me on, and especially for promoting this honeycomb. It's definitely, like I said before, I think it's probably going to be like 6-7 days from when this podcast airs that the honeycomb is still going to be live. But yeah, if anybody has it in them or the passion to want to invest in this company, please, it would definitely help me out. and the company out a lot to get our products in the stores and in your hands. So.
Yeah,
and I feel bad I didn't bring you guys samples. I was thinking on the way here, I was like, oh, I didn't bring any
because
snacks.
I'm actually really tired and hungry right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just filled.
I wish it were No, we could have been eating them here.
I lost my waggle that I had when I woke up this morning.
But I'll ship them here. How about for the next show? Where are you guys filming on Monday? Next Monday?
Yep. No, it's going to be a couple days after. I'm in Florida for a wedding.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, well I'll ship them here, and you guys can.
Oh, we'll try some for sure.
Yeah, and let me know what you guys think.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming.
We're
excited to have you. Just another great episode. So episode 13. That's Masters Week. So hence the waggle golf gear. So yeah, thanks again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I love being here.
Thanks, man. That was awesome.